Hello, Devlin here. I was just about to take a walk down memory lane. Why don't you join me? Today I'm going to talk about an unusual topic because people don't usually just talk about this. But what you'll find with Mondo nostalgia, I'll talk about it. And I don't get paid in any way from this, you know. If they want to send me a little something, I'm certainly not going to turn it down, but I'm not. Because today I'm going to talk about Jello. I used to love Jello as a kid. I think all of us as a kid did. It was so cool and refreshing. But when I got older, I became an acquired taste. And what I'm talking about is when I became a teenager, I just probably enjoyed going to get a Slurpee at the 7-Eleven or, a Lola or something. And Jello just kind of lost its flair. And when I talk about Jello, I'm talking about the gelatin, not the pudding necessarily. Pudding's good, don't get me wrong. But I'm talking about the gelatin, stuff that wiggles and has the nice colors and stuff. And basically what happened is, as I got older, I just kind of lost my interest, and my mother just stopped making it. And then when I'd go visit friends at, when they were in the hospital, or if I went to go visit a relative at an old age home, they would have Jello, and that would also take the coolness quotient out of Jello. So for the longest time, Jello was not even a part of my life. I'd see maybe a commercial on TV or something, and that'd be about it. But during all this craziness with the pandemic, I went shopping one day and I saw Jello packets, and I decided I'd buy one and give it a try again. See, I don't know, maybe it was just the comfort food element, but see if I actually really liked it again. And guess what? I became obsessed with Jello again. And I'm not kidding. I always have Jello packages in my home. These are currently the ones in my home. And I do have a couple of repeats as well. And I love all the flavors. And my partner, Mike, actually got me into something so simple that I absolutely loved it. It's you make two flavors up and then you mix them. So you do a lemon and then you do a grape. And then you put them together in, you just two separate bowls and then you spoon two. And oh my God, it was very delightful throughout the summer. So now I always have Jello packets again. And there's a little side of me that says, oh my God, this is me getting older again, isn't it? I'm starting to love Jello. Pretty soon next, I'm not going to be looking for full dinners. It'll be like, oh, soup and a sandwich, that'll be fine. Or I'll be craving Scotch mints and where there's originals. Not saying there's anything wrong about getting old, but there's something wrong when I start feeling I'm getting old. But my Jello obsession didn't just stop there. I wanted to go look into Jello, and I actually looked on YouTube and Wikipedia to find out a little bit about Jello, and I just couldn't believe some of the recipes I found when Jello was just becoming big. We're talking, I think, the late 50s, 60s, where Jello was in everything. Everybody had Jello molds, and they would put everything in Jello. In fact, some of it was a little gross because they would put everything from vegetables in it and tuna, and they'd make everything with Jello. And I'm not lying to you. Go on YouTube and check it out. It almost turned me off Jello, except that I do find it so very light and fluffy and enjoyable all over again. But it is fun to see just how big Jello was at one point. And the truth of the matter is, it's never really gone out of style. It's just kind of gone out of popularity. But it's always been on the shelf. Even when I went through that period in the 90s and the 2000s, Jello was always there. I'd grocery shop, Jello. Jello, Jello, Jello. The gelatin, the pudding pops. But it's just funny how Jello has just stuck around. But there was a time that you could make Jello casseroles and, I'm not going to share any with you, but watch Mondo Nostalgia's Facebook page. I do put a lot of recipes on there, and maybe it'd be fun to throw on some Jello, some of the grosser ones. And when I say gross, if you enjoy them, I'm not putting you down in any way. I've not actually tried any of these, so I can't really judge. All I know is I like Jello. Now, if you put tuna and Jello or vegetables in Jello, would I try it? No, maybe I'm not that big on Jello right now. But I like this phase I'm going through. Jello is a perfect comfort food. And then if you have avoided it for a long time, maybe it's time you give it a shot. Just buy a package. It's still reasonably priced. It's really easy to make. And if you are a person who never gave up on Jello, maybe still serve it to your kids, or just enjoy it for yourself, I applaud you. I wish I did. But it's been like reconnecting with an old friend. And it's been a nice move. And with that being said, I'm going to leave you now because I got to go make some Jello. I think it would be delightful dessert tonight. Thank you for joining me on this memory lane. Please go down to the comments and let me know if you have a favorite Jello recipe, or if you have a funny story about Jello, or have you tried it lately, or have you always hated Jello? I know a couple people that don't like the texture of it. Or if you don't eat it fast enough and you leave it a couple of days, you get the Jello crust. But we won't talk about that because I want to have some Jello later on tonight. Subscribe, like, and let us know what you think of Jello or what you thought of this video. Thanks for watching.